Welcome to vlog 63.
Woo!
Woo! That was a left-handed. Ready? And the other hand? Right, no, right to right.
Well, here we are on the 63rd Horizon Kids Sunday vlog, and we are so glad that you're joining us and watching with us today. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday. It's great to see you again. If this is your first time though, my name is Jacob.
And
Her name is Carly. And we are married.
Yep. That's why we can stand so close together right now.
It's true.
So, if you're not already, you should make sure that you are subscribed to the Horizon Kids YouTube channel so that you can see when we put videos up and all those fun things that we have going on.
That's totally true. Horizon Kids is part of Horizon Church, and each week we post fun videos all about Jesus, who we love, and just has an awesome plan for your life, and we want to help you get to know him better.
Yep.
And you should totally hit subscribe because you'll kind of keep growing through these videos, and we have a lot of fun as well.
We do. And if you enjoy watching every week, why not tell a friend about our channel, invite someone along to watch with you.
Drag them in,
and maybe send them a link. It's never been so easy to invite a friend to church before. All you gotta do is send them a link and say, hey, watch this YouTube video with me. So go ahead and do that, because we would just love for other people to get in on the fun.
And we love to see when you're having fun as well. So if you've been watching this month, if you're watching today and want to take a photo, watching maybe a selfie in front of the TV with us, or maybe you've decided to go and do some runs because you felt inspired by this month's theme, send us a picture. We'd love to see. Tag us on Instagram.
We'd love to know who is running with us, who's training for a race.
Ready? Run to the left. And backwards. There you go.
I don't know how to run backwards on the
Just like that. I think it's just the same.
That's confusing. Speaking of running, Jacob.
Yes.
We announced last Sunday that we've got a super fun challenge for our Horizon Kids families. And to remind you guys about this challenge, all month long we have been talking about running, because running is a really great example of commitment and practicing things and
pushing through,
training, and having to put the work in to see a result. And that's a really great comparison to our faith and some of the things that we can practice and work on in our faith. So, in a very practical way, we've been running, and Jacob and I actually really enjoy running, so we've really enjoyed this theme. And we wanted to see if there were any Horizon Kids families out there who wanted to join us. So, on June 5th, which is a Saturday, we're gonna do a 5K Horizon Family Fun Run.
Woo!
So we're inviting you and your family to join us in running 5K around the Horizon Church Surrey campus. 4 times around the campus is 5 kilometers. So if you want to join us, you and your family can register at horizonfam.ca.
Yeah, and we'll probably post an update once we've done that, but we'll talk about it again next week as well. So you guys will hear about it there. But you know what it's time for, Carly?
What's it time for?
Birthdays!
Yep.
Am I right?
You are right.
I'm right.
It's birthday shout out time. We've got a few birthdays that we're so excited to give shout outs to, because we love celebrating birthdays at Horizon Kids.
It's the party popper.
Weird. First of all, we are wishing a big, huge happy birthday to Abby.
Happy birthday, Abby. She just turned 7 this week, Carly.
Abby turned 7 this week, so I hope you had an amazing birthday, Abby.
Next up, we have Noah, who turns 12 today.
Happy birthday today, Noah. Turning 12 years old, that's awesome.
That's so cool. One of our amazing leaders next.
That's right. Happy birthday to Corin, who turned 14 this week.
Happy birthday, Corin. It's always fun serving with you on the weekend. And last but not least,
one of our amazing leaders who's helped in nursery, and we just love her so much. Happy birthday to Karen.
Happy birthday, Karen.
Hope it was amazing. Hope that all of you have had or will have an amazing birthday. And if you know any of those people, be sure to call them up, make them feel really special and loved on their birthday this week.
So good. Awesome. Well, we have something fun to go back to now, Kylie.
We do.
It is the running vlog number 4.
Let's check it out now. Can't say I've ever run with a camera in my face before.
No?
No.
First time? This is what like marathon runners feel like, right?
Yeah, I guess. This is what day or week?
Week 4.
Week 4
Yeah.
of our run.
Almost at the final stretch.
Yep, getting to the end, and we thought we would do some races to do some high intensity training, right?
Hit.
Yeah, so high intensity means when you like go really, really hard for a short burst of time, and then you kind of cool down, and then you go really, really hard again, and that's a form of runners training. So we're gonna run. We're gonna like do some sprint races.
It's like runception. It's a run within a run.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. So where should our like? We can do like a start from here, go to a point, and then come back. Where should we run?
Should we run to the pine tree down there, or the fir tree?
Yeah. The Christmas tree type.
The Christmas tree one.
Okay. Do that Christmas tree down there.
So we're gonna run there and back.
And back, yeah, and we'll race. So all of
This
you
will be the
watching.
finishing line.
Okay.
Where this bit of gum is on the path. Okay.
Okay, the gum. Yeah.
The gum.
So all of you watching, give a little cheer if you think Jacob's gonna win this race. And give a little cheer if you think I'm gonna win this race.
Woo!
Alright. You ready?
I'm ready.
Ready to sprint?
Okay. Count us down. 3,
2, 1, go! Jacob wins.
I did win. Nice.
So that's a type of running
It's good, my heart's
training.
going.
I know we don't do that we don't really do that much, but that's a good way to build up your
Immune system.
your speed. With our lovely weed whacker background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to increase speed if you're looking to up your
If you need to consistently
pace
outrun
time.
your siblings, practice this.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's the challenge for you guys. Go and do a sprint race with your siblings.
Nice.
Oh, another good way to build up endurance and speed
Yep.
is hill training.
Oh yeah.
And we do happen to be on a hill at the moment.
Yeah.
Should we do a hill race as well?
Sure. Do a hill race as well. Oh, looking pretty secure there. There's a good chance you might fall down.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna run down and touch a duck, okay?
Yeah.
Think we can do that?
Don't come back until you find a duck that you can touch.
Okay, you ready? Count us down.
3, 2, 1, go!
Thanks, tree.
You didn't fall out of the tree. Well done.
Well done. Well done, guys. Awesome. Should we finish this round then, Carly?
Nice. Well, I just have to say that I let you win on all those races, so just making sure everybody knows that, you know. But the reason we're doing these running vlogs, like we said earlier, is because the theme of this month is 5K.
Run the race.
So why are we talking about running?
We're talking about running because we're talking about commitment, making a plan and putting it into practice. And we're talking about that all month long.
Yeah.
And Carly, we have a Bible verse that we're talking about as well related to this.
The Bible verse that goes along with this theme is found in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8. And it says, training the body has some value, but being godly has value in every way. It promises help for the life you are now living and the life to come. And that's why we're talking about this, because training the body does have some value. It keeps you healthy and physically active and all of those things. But it kind of just stops there. Whereas training your faith in a very similar way to training your body, you have to be committed, you have to practice, you have to have a plan and be dedicated and all of those things. But training your faith and putting that work into your faith has value now and for eternity.
So good.
Because it grows your relationship with God and it helps you become closer to Jesus, and it's awesome. So we've been looking at a few different ways, a few different things that you can practice to increase your faith. So this week, what are we talking about this week?
This week, we're talking about talking to God.
That's right.
Our bottom line is practice talking about God. There was a lot of talking.
We're talking about talking about God.
Yes, it was very confusing to say that line. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that, and Carly's got a great message for us later. And so we're going to watch our Bible story video, and then we're going to hear from Carly in a little bit. So we'll see you at the end.
Hey everyone, I'm Erica, and all month long we've been talking about commitment. Commitment is making a plan and putting it into practice. So I've been training for a 5K race, and guess what? It's only a week away. So I'm a little nervous about it. You see, I haven't told anybody this. This'll be my first 5K ever. My friends convinced me that I would enjoy running a 5K. They've been running for years, so I figure they know what they're talking about. We're actually meeting up tomorrow to have a kind of pre-race get-together. I have so many questions to ask them. How long does it take to run a 5K? Will my legs hurt when the race is over? What exactly are we running from? So that should be fun. Or what if they get tired of all my questions? What if they ask me questions? Will they expect me to know as much as they do? I need to practice what I'll say. So, Erica, what's your favorite part about running? The running part? How many marathons have you run this year? This year? None. If you were running on a track headed west at 12 miles per hour and a train 127 miles away was traveling from the opposite direction at 84 miles per hour, at what part of the track would you and the train meet? I don't know. You don't know? Oh boy, I am not looking forward to this at all. Maybe it'll be easier if I just stand against the wall somewhere and don't say anything. Hopefully today's story will help. It's about saying what's on your mind, even when you don't have all the answers. See you soon.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verses 13 through 20.
Jesus and his 12 closest friends walked along the dusty road from Galilee to the town of Caesarea Philippi. Perhaps Peter walked with James and John.
Philippi? Seems out of the way.
Maybe that's the point.
Little peace and quiet?
Jesus can't take 2 steps in Galilee without 1,000 people showing up.
Yeah, they say he's... Well, I've heard everything.
Peter stared at the high hills ahead, one of which was home to a deep cavern said to be the birthplace of a Greek god. Philippi was filled with monuments and temples to other fake gods.
Peter?
What? Oh,
Peter looked around. Jesus and his other friends had stopped under a shady tree. Peter, James, and John stepped off the road to join them.
water break.
As his disciples rested, Jesus turned and faced them. Perhaps he knew that here, near Philippi, where so many people believed in false gods, it was important that his disciples knew and spoke the truth.
Who do people say the Son of Man is?
Jesus' friends understood that when he said Son of Man, he meant himself.
Some people say that you're John the Baptist.
What people? Hello? John the Baptist was Jesus' cousin.
Well, that's what they say. Just saying.
Well, some people say you're Elijah or Jeremiah.
Yeah, or one of the prophets.
People had been comparing Jesus to many important figures in Jewish history. Men who called the nation to repent. Men who did miracles. Men who spoke the word of God. But Jesus was so much more than that.
What about you? Who do you say that I am?
As Jesus looked squarely at his disciples, they fidgeted. They had seen Jesus feed thousands of people from one boy's lunch. They'd seen him heal countless sick people. They'd seen him command evil spirits to leave. They knew Jesus was special. But it's one thing to think something, and another to say it. Peter, as usual, was the one to take the leap.
You are the Messiah. You are the Son of the living God.
Jesus smiled.
Blessed are you, Simon. No mere human showed this to you. My Father in heaven showed it to you. Here's what I tell you. You are Peter.
Jesus was giving Simon a new identity. Peter means stone, something strong, sturdy. Jesus continued.
On this rock I will build my church. The gates of hell will not be strong enough to destroy it. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. What you lock on earth will be locked in heaven. What you unlock on earth will be unlocked in heaven.
The disciples were amazed.
Teacher's pet.
Hey, we were all thinking it. And I don't know, the whole locking and unlocking thing sounds like a really big responsibility.
Jesus knew there were things that would take his friends a while to understand. So he told them.
Do not tell anyone yet that I am the Messiah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Peter had the courage to speak what he knew to be true. And when the time was right, he would share it with everyone he met.
So Peter and the other disciples had a lot of questions. People had been wondering for months, years even, who Jesus really was. But it was important for the disciples not to just wonder about, but to talk about it. So Jesus asked, "Who do you say that I am?" Even though they all had thoughts about who Jesus was, Peter was the only one who had the courage to say what he was thinking out loud. Sometimes it can be scary to talk about what you believe about God with other people. What if you have questions? What if people ask you questions? What if there's something you don't know? Well, I've got some good news for you. No one you talk to has all the answers. A lot of people even have the same questions you do. That's why it's important to practice talking about God. Sometimes it helps to say something out loud to really know what you believe. And sometimes you can learn something new from someone else. So, don't be afraid to get a conversation started. You got a few minutes? I have some questions. Me too! I'm glad I'm not the only one. So, when you're excited about something God has done for you in your life, share it with someone out loud. And when you aren't sure about something, ask your small group leader or someone you know who follows Jesus for wisdom. Together, we can help each other understand what God has done in the past and what he's doing in our lives right now. Here's the one thing to remember today. Practice talking about God. If you have questions, ask. And if you don't know something, say so. And if you think you know an answer, have the courage to say what you're thinking out loud. So, what do you want to talk about? What I always want to talk about. Stuff. Oh, I get it. Because you're a stuffed animal? Yeah, get it? Because I'm made out of stuff.
Okay, I'll go back in my corner. Yeah.
Bye.
Hey everyone! Well, we are 4 weeks into May, if you can believe that. And if you've noticed, we've been building on one key point this whole time. We're training to win the prize. Not in a running race, but in this race that we call life. We've looked at practicing our faith in a few different ways. We've practiced hearing from God. We've practiced praying to God. And now we've come to the week where we talk about, well, talking. Now, I'm guessing that we've got some talkers out there. Has anyone ever gotten in trouble at school for talking too much? I'm sure there are a few of you. Sometimes when you have something to say, it helps to know not only what to say, but also when to say it. For example, asking your mom if you can have another piece of cheese string when she's trying to wash the mud off of the dog that is barreled back in the house after digging up the garden. Probably not the best timing. You might have also learned the fine art of,
I'll ask Mom if I can play video games first, and when she says, go ask your dad, I'll just tell him that Mom said that she didn't care if I play, and then he'll say he doesn't care. And then I'll get to play Among Us for another hour or so.
right? Anyone ever done that? Or maybe you're FaceTiming your friends and it's getting kind of late in the evening, and you know that if you make too much noise, then your parents will suddenly remember that it's late and you have to take a shower and get ready for bed because you've got school tomorrow. So you make sure not to say anything too loud so you don't cause them to remember. Any of these situations ringing a bell, or maybe you can think of something similar to those stories that you've done? Then on the other hand, have you ever had an experience where you completely said the wrong thing at completely the wrong time? For those who've said the wrong thing at the wrong time, what was that situation? Can you think of a specific example? Did it hurt somebody else's feelings? Or did it get you in trouble? What was it that happened? Well, here's the thing. With all of these examples, I think we can all agree on one thing. Words matter. What you say matters. What you stand up for vocally, it matters. And what you say about God matters too. Speaking of God, what would you say if someone asked you what your relationship with God is like? Would you even know how to answer? Would you know how to talk about God like in a knowledgeable way that wouldn't come across as super Christian and weird? I mean, we Christians can be a bit of a peculiar bunch to begin with. So how in the world do we bring Jesus to others without turning them off, or worse, making them feel like an outsider, or even making us feel embarrassed or stupid? These are hard questions for sure, and big questions as well. Because what we say matters, and the words that we use, they really matter. So to dig more deeply into this, let's take a look at what one of Jesus's closest friends and followers said in the Bible. Now, our Bible story video just showed us this story of when Jesus asked this question to his friends. He asked, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" That's in Matthew chapter 16, verse 13. So, some of his disciples came up with a few answers. They said, well, some say you're John the Baptist, others say you're Elijah, and some others say you're Jeremiah or one of the prophets. You see, when Jesus came on the scene, people weren't really sure what to make of him, and you know that when people are confronted with something unique and unfamiliar, they like to try to compare them to other people who came before, someone who is familiar. So that's what people were doing when they said those things. But then in this conversation, Jesus pressed his friends even further. He wanted to know who they say Jesus is. So then Peter jumped in to answer. And this is no surprise, as Peter is pretty notorious for being quick to speak, talking before thinking, rushing to conclusions, jumping in head first. He said this: "You are the Messiah. You are the Son of the living God." Now, sometimes when we read the Bible, we can see that Peter really hits the nail on the head. Sometimes. Other times, not so much. His life is full of examples that we can learn from for what to do and what not to do. And in this case, Peter got it right. Peter, out of all the disciples, was the one to speak up. And he said what he knew to be true, that Jesus is, in fact, the Son of God. When the time was right, he would share that fact with everyone he knew. The question I have for you is this: when someone asks you to talk about God or your relationship with Jesus, how will you respond? Look, I get it. Talking about God and about Jesus and spiritual things, it can feel weird and maybe even a bit embarrassing, especially if you're around friends who don't believe the same things as you. And I get that. Anytime talking about what God is doing in your life can be really helpful and encouraging for others to hear. The best way to talk about God to people who don't know him is to talk about all the good things he's done in your life. Give God the credit. Give the credit to God because we know that he is in control and he loves all of us so much. Jesus showed us something when he got away from the crowds to talk with his friends, like he did in this Bible story. He probably knew that they had questions. He probably knew that they needed to talk about some of these things. So getting them away from others and sitting and talking with them, we just might be able to follow the same example. And talking with others about these kinds of things can help you make some pretty wise choices. So, here is a question for you to think about. Who can you talk to about God? Who in your life needs to hear about what God is doing in your life? Or who can you bounce off ideas you have about how to practice your faith? Who can help you answer the questions that you have about God? Hopefully, you have someone in your life that you can talk to. It could be a parent, a grandparent, a small group leader, sibling, or friend. And I'm sure that they would love to chat with you about your relationship with God. But also, who do you know in your life who doesn't know about God that you can talk to about all the things you love about God and all the good things he's done in your life? Our bottom line today is practice talking about God. It's a skill that you can develop just like all the other ones, and you can grow in it. It doesn't just come naturally, but if you practice it, you'll notice that it gets easier and more natural every time. And as you continue to practice talking about God, you'll be spreading the good news of Jesus to those who don't know him yet, and you'll be increasing your own faith too. So before we finish, let's pray and thank God for the amazing people in our life who we can talk to about him. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for your word. Thank you for the lessons that it can teach us. And thank you for showing us how we can practice our faith and grow in these different aspects of our faith so that we can have a closer, better relationship with you. Help us, God, to talk about you to the people around us. Help us find people in our lives who have walked further in their faith so that we can bounce ideas off of them and receive wisdom and advice from them. And help us find people around us who don't know you yet and give us opportunities to share the good news and to share just how awesome you are with those people. We love you, Jesus, and we thank you for what you're teaching us and for all that you're doing in our lives. And it's in your name, everybody said together, amen.
Thank you, Carly, for sharing with us today about talking about God. So good. Awesome. Do you have some questions for us?
We do. We've got a few questions, and we would encourage you to take these questions based off of the Bible story and the message that you just heard, and maybe have a discussion around the dinner table with family or something like that with these questions in mind to keep the conversation going throughout the week.
So good.
Our first question that you can discuss is, who is someone that you trust and you can talk to when you have questions about God or about your faith?
That's a great one.
Yeah, so coming up with a list of people who you could trust and maybe bouncing those ideas off of maybe your parents or someone, and they can say, like, those are some really great people, or here are some suggestions that they might have.
Yep.
Just great thing to be thinking about.
Yeah, because like for me, it would be my friend Daniel. So I would bounce ideas off of him, but also my grandparents. They'd be great examples of people who I can go to if I have questions about God. What about you, Carly?
Yeah, for me, I've got some really close friends as well who I can talk to about that. My siblings and Jacob and my parents. It's always good to have those people in your life who you trust and who you can talk to.
So good. Well, our second question today is, if you could tell someone anything you want to about God, what would it be?
I love that. I think that's a great thing to discuss and just brainstorm. Because you might be in a situation at some point where somebody says, hey, you believe in Jesus, right?
Yeah.
What is that about? Tell me more about it. What would you say? And the last question that you can discuss is, what is something God is doing in your life right now, and who can you share that with?
Oh.
I think one of the best ways to talk about God is to talk about all the good things that He's done in your life. And we call that at church a testimony.
Yeah.
Sharing the good news, sharing the good things that God has done in your life, and giving all the credit to God. So maybe in your family, you can all go around and share some good things that God has done in your life. And in a way, that's like practicing talking about God to other people.
That's so good. Awesome.
Well, there you go. That's everything for today.
Vlog 63.
Vlog 63.
Vlog 63. I knew it.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Next Sunday will be our final Sunday of this theme.
Last running vlog next Sunday.
The last running vlog. Just in time for that following Saturday for our Horizon Family Fun Run 5K.
Nice. No extravaganza in that one.
No, but we're just really into the excessively long names
We
this
love it.
month.
It was great to see you guys.
So good to see you. Thanks
Have a
for
good
watching.
week. We'll see you soon.
Bye.